Coming up on Around San Diego, a warning about scammers posing as U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement officers. What to watch out for. And the city of El Cajon is launching a downtown revitalization project. We'll have a closer look at those plans. Plus, a San Diego couple's heartbreaking ordeal has really resonated with pet owners everywhere. We'll have a working for you follow-up to their story. Hello and welcome. Thank you for joining us as we take you around San Diego. I'm CBS 8's Jenny Day. I'll get you caught up on a week's worth of news and we'll look ahead in less than 30 minutes. So right now, there is a warning about scammers posing as ICE agents, U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement. CBS 8's Esmeralda Perez has what local immigration attorneys are saying and how you can protect yourself from falling victim.
Warning from Attorney General Rob Bonta's office claiming they're seeing reports around the state of people impersonating ICE officers and other immigration scams. So I checked in with San Diego-based immigration attorney Saman Nasiri.
I have been seeing that happen and hearing about that happening.
So far, Nasiri has heard of people receiving phone calls. He tells me some of these calls are happening late at night.
I have had clients calling me about phone numbers that they've been getting calls from saying that, hey, we're ICE, we need to come to this address, or hey, we're ICE, you need to pay this amount as a bond to make sure we don't come and get you. That has been happening, and their calls are coming at weird times, and they're not from government phone numbers.
I also reached out to Jacob Sapochnik to find out what he has heard.
One was from Escondido. Somebody called for a consultation, and they said that three men came to their store. They had a small, I guess, grocery store or something, and they claimed to be immigration enforcement, and they wanted them to give them the names of all the workers that they have, and they kind of stayed there for a little bit, and then they left.
Bonta's office shares some ways to protect yourself from these scams. Ask for identification. Do not give money or personal information to anyone who calls, texts, or emails you claiming there's a problem with your immigration matter. Do not sign an immigration form that includes incorrect information or blanks. Do not sign anything until you understand what you are signing. Do not hire an immigration consultant or a notary, because only lawyers, accredited representatives, and recognized organizations can give you legal advice or represent you in immigration court. And beware of .com or .net websites. Instead, access information from .gov websites, which are government affiliated.
They're trying to use the fear of immigration enforcement to try to get people to give up their hard-earned resources.
James Ely is with Identity Theft Resource Center, which provides free direct identity crime advice and victim assistance. James tells me this is a very serious problem.
This kind of scam is called an impersonation scam. And that is a very serious and a very growing problem in the United States.
Esmeralda Perez, CBS 8.
Esme, thanks. And we now know the name of the San Diego State University campus police sergeant accused of possessing child pornography. Paul McLean is in federal custody after a months-long Homeland Security investigation. Court documents indicate investigators found videos of children from ages 6 to 16 years old on his home computer in Menifee, there in Riverside County. McLean is married with 3 children, ages 9, 13, and 16. He was arrested off campus, and SDSU says that they are in the process of firing him. Well, we are learning more about a third arrest made in connection to a body found buried in Balboa Park last summer. San Diego police say 42-year-old Gisela Bowers was now taken into custody as well. She's accused of being an accessory to the murder of James Garcia. The 43-year-old was found in a shallow grave just off the 163 near Richmond Street. He had been shot to death. Charges have been filed against 2 other suspects. Investigators say the suspects and victim appeared to be homeless and staying there in Balboa Park. No motive yet for the shooting is known at this time. Well, San Diego Sheriff's investigators are trying to figure out who vandalized the Tesla dealership in Encinitas. A viewer sent us pictures that show the glass exterior and a vehicle were covered in swastikas and the F word. The group Swing Left Take Action San Diego organized a rally outside of the dealership on Saturday. Concerns include cuts to Medicare and veterans' health benefits.
Was the main purpose of this rally was to bring to the public's attention what we think are very dangerous and damaging actions.
Yeah, the group says their demonstration was peaceful and criticizes whoever is responsible for the vandalism. CBS 8 has confirmed the San Diego Sheriff's Department has surveillance video and is investigating. Now, local TSA workers rallied at the San Diego International Airport this week with the goal of protecting their collective bargaining rights. This after the federal government terminated the TSA officers' union contract. The union, the American Federation of Government Employees, says this decision came suddenly and without notice and puts TSA agents at risk.
Contract for us means that they're stripping away our workplace protections, workplace rights, the ability to be able to stand up for yourself, to be able to state a grievance or discrimination or harassment and not be retaliated against.
Yeah, in a memo from Homeland Security, Secretary Kristi Noem, the move is an attempt to cut bureaucracy. Now, the government says that the TSA has more people doing full-time union work than they have performing screening functions at 86% of airports. So AFGE, the union there, has filed a lawsuit against the Trump administration to try and maintain workers' rights to unionize. Well, the Mission Beach Lifeguard Tower, a staple of the San Diego coastline, is in need of emergency repairs. CBS 8 went to Mission Beach to check it out and saw rust along the roof line, cracks running up and down the walls. Lifeguards are asking the city for emergency repairs so that it is safe for our lifeguards to work in.
Best case scenario is let's get it patched up, keep it working, and then come up with a long-term plan. But don't wait for it to be condemned before we replace it. Let's keep it going because it's a really solid station.
Yeah, so the hope is that these repairs will allow them to use the building for another 2 to 3 years. Well, now to a first of its kind ban on disguised vapes. It was just approved in El Cajon. The El Cajon City Council passed the ordinance prohibiting any vapes designed to look like pens, watches, or other objects. The law will take in effect in less than 30 days, and any stores selling the prohibited vapes could face fines up to $2,500 and potentially lose their tobacco retailer's license. Local schools had called for the ban after complaining about students hiding vapes in class. We'll get ready to pay even more for home and renters insurance. That was the message this week from the state capitol. Lawmakers grilled the insurance commissioner on the insurance crisis, but he had no easy answers. In exchange for allowing higher rates, Commissioner Ricardo Lara says he wants companies to guarantee they will not cancel policies. He also wants to give insurance companies more leeway in pricing premiums according to risk.
Constituent said, I would rather pay more, but I need certainty. I know where I live. And the goal for us is to make sure that everyone pays for the amount of risk of where they live.
Yeah, so critics claim Lara's suggested reforms don't go far enough. Assembly members say they are worried about the next big fire or flood disaster. Some fear the entire market could collapse unless lawmakers, insurance companies, and policyholders all agree to overhaul the entire system. Well, some Rancho San Diego residents are voicing their concerns over a proposal to transform a golf course right there in the middle of the community into a sand mine. Dozens of opponents to this plan showed up at a packed community planning group meeting. The planning group voted unanimously to recommend officially opposing a proposal to turn Cottonwood Golf Course into a sand mine. The proposal will now go before the county's planning commission on April 18th.
All of our concerns, traffic, emergency vehicle access, pollution, dust in the air, noise, all of these things all get rolled into how it's just not of the character of the surrounding community that's made up of homes, it's made up of businesses and schools.
In a statement, the developer of this proposed sand mine told CBS 8 in the near term it would provide critically needed sand supplies for housing and infrastructure projects through a phased approach that reduces community concerns around views. Creating a local sand supply at Cottonwood is a win for the San Diego region because it would reduce the increased costs and environmental damage caused by trucking sand in from outside of the region and Mexico, end quote. Well, the city of El Cajon is also launching a downtown revitalization project aimed at enhancing the area with new restaurants, shops, more nightlife, and entertainment. They have partnered with New City America, a company known for successful projects in Little Italy and Chula Vista. The city will pay $150,000 just for management services to New City America. Right now, it's unclear when the full project will start or the total cost of it. Well, a San Diego couple's heartbreaking ordeal has really resonated with pet owners everywhere. What was supposed to be a final goodbye turned into an ongoing nightmare. Our Brian White has been working for you on this story and has an update.
An animal is only a small part of our lives because of their short life, but we are all of that animal's life.
She was a Chihuahua mix, nearly 15 years old, and for David and Evelyn Posner, she was their little baby.
She slept in our bed. She was always around us.
She passed away on New Year's Day. They called Rainbow to Heaven to have her cremated, paid $850, and 10 weeks later, no ashes. We shared their story, and turns out many others were experiencing the same nightmare.
Within 5 minutes after it aired on TV, they called us.
A delivery driver brought Sydney's ashes that night, and now the urn sits on their coffee table.
It's a big relief knowing that we got her home where she belongs.
Many others are still waiting. I told you about Yacindy Trinidad and her lovebird Tweety. 4 months of waiting, still no ashes. And Robert McGee and his cat Bingles. 3 months, also no ashes.
My heart dropped. I cried for days and I was just like, oh my God, like how did this happen to me?
Alexandria Lara's Yorkie, Coco, passed away more than 4 months ago. She just received this picture and was told Coco's ashes will be delivered soon.
My first instinct was that's not her. But of course, I'm just scared. So at this point, feeling hopeful that that is her and they did the right thing.
Thank you for calling Rainbow to Heaven.
I called the company's main line. The message said they're no longer accepting any new pickups.
If we have already picked up your pet, please be assured that your pet is safe and being handled in a professional and dignified manner.
Without any laws in place to regulate the pet cremation industry in California, there is no real oversight or any way to ensure accountability. Meanwhile, David and Evelyn choose to believe these are Sydney's ashes.
I feel that her ashes are in there. I have to feel that. If not, I'm not going to get any peace. And I can sleep better at night now. So I can't thank you guys enough.
Working for you, Brian White, CBS 8.
Brian, thanks. Coming up, it is Women's History Month, how the San Diego City Council honored 10 women for their leadership. Welcome back. It is Women's History Month, and the San Diego City Council is back with its annual Women of Distinction Awards. The ceremony celebrates 10 women, and CBS 8's Alex Lai introduces us to one of those honorees.
Possible you've been impacted by the remarkable efforts of these women honored today at City Council. From advocating for military families to flood victims, these women have changed lives in the community while facing hardships of their own. These 10 women were honored with applause, flowers, and recognition for their invaluable contributions to making San Diego a better place.
Monica was a lifeline.
Among them, Monica Hill, recognized for helping her Encanto neighbors recover from last year's devastating floods. While the room applauded Monica's work, she was shocked to even be nominated.
And I didn't realize that it was true. So I'm like, okay, I'm not going to respond to this. This is a scam. And then so I'm like, I get a phone call, then another phone call. I'm like, okay. But it was just an honor and a big blessing to, receive this award. I spoke with Monica back in January, 1 year after the floods destroyed her own apartment. Despite her personal challenges, she stepped up to help her neighbors at Village Green Apartments. It was traumatizing to a lot of us. We didn't have the right information. We didn't have the help, so I reached out to my resources and got as much help as we need as far as housing, making sure that we got the food and electricity and just water, things that we needed to move back into our apartments.
Fortunately, they were able to return home, but Monica is still dedicated to helping her community.
See what they need as far as housing, clothing, a helping hand.
Other women honored as Women of Distinction from across San Diego include Corey Austin, Shelley Parks, Sharon Gale, Amelia Castillo, Cara Mangaduyos, Sergeant Major Rosalie Esquifo, Heidi Jezebel Ramirez, and Claudia Saval Zahufstein. This year's citywide Woman of Distinction is Katie McDonald, President and CEO of Forever Balboa Park. The applause in City Council Tuesday was not just for the efforts these women have made in the past, but the impacts they will make in the future.
Yeah, I'm reaching for the key to the city, so I'm not done yet, and this is only the beginning.
Alex Lai, CBS 8.
Congrats and sincerely thank you for what you're doing. Still ahead for many veterans, the transition back to civilian life can be challenging. We'll show you how these incredible dogs are making the process easier. For many veterans, the transition back to civilian life can be challenging, but one nonprofit is making that journey a little easier, one loyal companion at a time. CBS 8's Brian White takes a closer look at how some incredible dogs are changing lives, one partnership at a time.
I will say that the transition was probably the hardest piece that I've ever done in my entire life. And I'm telling you, without Angie right here, I don't know where I'd be today.
Retired Marine Wes Kelly served 2 tours in Afghanistan. His firsthand experience in war zones exposed him to the brutal realities of combat.
It ain't like what you thought about, like as kids, you know, you think about war and things like this and gunfighting. Oh yeah, it's gung-ho. What they don't teach you is the things that you do see and that you are not prepared to talk about, or the events and the aftermath of those effects.
Freedom Dogs did for Wes what they do best. They paired him with a loyal companion. Angie's been with him for 6 years now.
She means the world to me. I mean, especially to my family, the most part. You know, transitioning back to being a civilian and coming back from war zones.
Here at the 12th annual Freedom Dogs Golf Tournament at Fairbanks Ranch Country Club, they're raising money for the nonprofit, and many veterans here have similar stories.
Returning from Afghanistan, I was not able to readjust so easily, and their handlers and obviously the dogs were a lifeline to me to kind of bring me back from combat.
The nonprofit's executive director, Peggy Poore, says they work with wounded warriors at Camp Pendleton and help veterans with PTSD and traumatic brain injuries.
If they become anxious, the dog can alert them to that, and it gives them a moment to stop and think about how they're responding and take a breath and decompress before it becomes elevated.
Freedom Dogs trains a lot of black and yellow labs. Trainer Sue Johnson says they start them as early as 8 weeks old.
The dogs are amazing. They're so empathetic, and they really, really help all of us. It's very fulfilling to be able to train these dogs and see the impact that they have on people's lives.
In Rancho Santa Fe, Brian White, CBS 8.
Yes, so sincerely glad that they're helping. I myself have a black lab. They're the best. That will do it for us. Thanks for your time. Take good care.